Another game that I'll be glued to the couch on, and I'm going to be glued to the couch all Saturday. I hope y'all are too, because it's going to be fantastic. But it's going to be Africa hot in the swamp. Like, Miami goes to Florida, two brands that everybody knows. If you grew up in the 90s, everybody, you wanted to see this matchup, right? Like, it was such a great matchup. And when I look at Miami, man, Miami checks so many boxes. Like, you watched them a year ago. Miami was 4-0, and everything was going in the right direction, and the wheels fell off. They go 3-6, and they were giving the ball away like a 501c3, like a nonprofit, man, offensively against Georgia Tech. We all saw that debacle. Well, you saw the fifth turnover. The fumble was the fifth turnover. Like, not the third, not the fourth, the fifth turnover. So they gave the ball away against North Carolina, barely lose the football game, could have won the game, 4 turnovers. NC State, you lose the game, 4 turnovers. So I think Cristobal, year 3, has done what he wanted to do. He wanted to build out this team and make them more talented. The offensive line has a lot of experience. They're big. They're physical. They should be a strength of the football team. They should be able to run the ball. They went in the transfer portal and not only addressed needs, I think they got the best quarterback in the transfer portal. Like, definitely one of the top 3 most impactful players in the portal with Cam Ward. I mean, he's played a lot of football. Should do a trivia question real quick. He played at Washington State when you last saw him. Where did Cam Ward play before that? None of y'all know. Incarnate Word. That's literally where Cam Ward started his career. So he's really elevated himself. Really good playmaker, scrambles around, makes plays, can get the ball out quick. He's got good wide receivers. So the offense should naturally take steps in that direction. The defense, you saw Reuben Bain Jr. last year. Like, he's going to be a star. You got Tyler Barron from Tennessee, another edge player. They've recruited well on the defensive side of the football. I think everything with Miami is doing this. And you check so many of those boxes, man. Now it's time for the coaching staff and them to put it together and restore the glory. Like, this is a team that should be really good. And when you look at the schedule, man, they play at Florida to kick it off, host Virginia Tech, who's going to be a player in the ACC. I think they're really good. They host FSU. They dodge Clemson. They dodge NC State. And they got to go to Georgia Tech. So Miami, if they turn around those close losses, they weren't getting blown out a year ago. If they make some better decisions at the quarterback spot and eliminate some of those turnovers, man, Miami should be a team that we're talking about in the upper echelon of the ACC consistently. Since they joined, they haven't been. But I'll say this. I don't look at any other team in the ACC and I go, they got more talent than Miami. Miami's got upper echelon talent at so many positions, and they've got all the prerequisite things they need to go win an ACC championship game, to be supremely competitive in that league. So they need to go do it, and they need to prove that they can. All right, other side of the field. When you look at Florida, this is a big one. Why do I say that? This is huge because Billy Napier needs some positive mojo. Like, when you watch this team from a year ago, their best edge player, Prince, best defensive player, transfers to Ole Miss. They lose a linebacker to A&M. This is a proud school. Like, Florida means something, man. Like, that blue and orange stands for something really, really good. And they've played a lot of great football in their history. And I think they can again. Graham Mertz did this with Billy Napier a year ago. He really showed tremendous improvement, which is a great thing. So can he continue to take strides? Can he continue to grow? Florida defensively, you've always seen dudes on that side of the football that come in that play great. They've never lacked talent, and they relied on the transfer portal too, just like everybody else in the country. But Florida just needs to start this season fast. They need some positive juice. When you're playing a top 20 team in Miami and you're hosting them in the swamp, man, can the crowd come out? Can the crowd be noisy? Can they make a difference in this football game? Get behind this team, because when I look at the schedule, okay, I'm going to read you. I have Florida's schedule right here in my hand. I'm going to read it to you. You beat Miami. Samford is a guaranteed win, okay? I'm ready to say that. So if you could somehow go 2-0, then you got A&M, and you got at Mississippi State, UCF, at number 15 Tennessee, who's a good team, and Kentucky. That's their schedule. So there's 3 ranked teams on there. And you say, okay, that's pretty good. Like, if you look at certain teams in the country, they only play 3 ranked teams, like Notre Dame. And that's a pretty good schedule. Let me give you November. Florida fans, hide your eyes. Like, this is brutal. This is the worst in the country. This is the worst I've ever seen. This is November for the University of Florida. Number 1, UGA. At number 4, Texas. Number 13, LSU. Number 6, Ole Miss. Number 13, Florida State, at Florida State. That's your November. Like, that is insane. A great team isn't making it through November at 500. Well, you can't be 500 because there's 5 games anyways on the schedule. But a great team isn't going 4-1 on that. A great team might go 3-2 against that schedule. So November is going to be brutal. I would love to see, and if I'm a Florida fan, like, let's get optimistic. Let's be competitive week 1. You beat Miami, you beat Samford, you beat A&M, something like that, man. You could start the season with some positive mojo, which is really what I want to see from Florida, man, to get some of that swagger back, to get the fans back involved, back behind their coach, because I don't care who's coaching. You could bring Nick Saban out of retirement. With that November schedule, it is brutal, and I'm not sure anybody's going to have a lot of success. So Florida fans, start fast, build some momentum, and then maybe you can restore some of that pride back to Florida.